Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us on 13 Plus. I'm Mary Coleman. The big talker of this evening was all of those power poles that came down near Ina and Shannon. I'm going to get to some video for you so you can see this little storm that blew through that we learned from the National Weather Service was a microburst. They called it a dry microburst, the one that took down those power poles. And let me show you another video. Here's some more video of the dust storm that rolled through our area. We were very close to where we were seeing all of this damage earlier. There's still a little over 1,000 people who are in the public who do not have power at this time, but that has definitely been an improvement following the almost 5,000 people who we saw without power earlier. So things are indeed getting better. Again, the National Weather Service did confirm that this was a dry microburst that we saw out there in this area. Let me pull up this video again so you can check this out. It's a really cool video, but obviously it happened quick. A lot of people were not ready for it, and because of that, again, we have all of these down power lines. We even have some businesses that are currently closed. They said, hey, we're closing for the evening. I know Whiskey Roads was one of them. They said their power was out and they're just going to call it an evening and close for this Friday night, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty big deal for them because that's one of their nights that they have a lot of business. So I am waiting for meteorologist Corey Kowitz to get over here so he can give us our forecast. I don't know where he is right now. I'm looking at our digital guide to try and grab him for us. He's supposed to be giving us our forecast for this evening. So let's go through this once more. We are talking today's dry microburst that took place on the northwest side. You can see in this video a portion of that happened. Corey's putting together his forecast for us. So I just want you to know he is coming. You guys are looking for the professional on this. Let's see. Carol asked, where is this? Carol, this video of the dust storm, we are in the Cortero and I-10 area. That's where we took this video from, and our tower cam picked up that video that you saw earlier of the microburst kind of traveling throughout the area. So all kind of in the same area where we're seeing this damage. Again, there are still a little over 1,000 people without power at this time, but hey, the man of the hour has joined us, meteorologist Corey Kowitz. He was putting together the forecast. He just got done with our newscast, so thanks, Corey. He wants to tell you some of the latest about what's going on. Corey, I was telling them that the National Weather Service confirmed that it was a dry microburst that we saw that caused all this damage. So I want to say exciting. I mean, for you as a meteorologist, probably a little exciting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool phenomena. Luckily, it doesn't seem like there were any deaths. Unfortunately, we did have some people injured.
We did have 2 injuries, yes.
Yeah, the power lines down, snarling traffic. Those are the impacts that microburst can have. And a big reason why we did have this microburst, Mary, is because of how hot it was. So let's dig into how hot it was today. It was 111 degrees. Your high temperature at the Tucson International Airport makes it the hottest day of the year, tying a daily record set back in 2018. If I can explain it for a little bit, why that caused the microburst. Well, microbursts are caused from how cool the air is at the top of the atmosphere where the storm is, and it's going to bring down that cool air. And when it evaporates, it causes even more cooling. You know what causes a lot of evaporation, Mary?
What's
hot
that?
temperatures. So think about it, right? You're evaporatingly cooling more. It's denser, the air, because it's cooling down more, and that means it's going to hit the ground at a faster pace, creating those strong winds. Here's some other heat records. Well, Safford got to 111 too, and that broke the record of 109 set back in 2020. And we got more heat records threatened, guys, right around the 110 marker through Wednesday. And the records also right around the 110 marker, certainly within striking range, not just today of tying or breaking records, but through Wednesday as well. That's why we had first alert action days, because of that heat. And that's going to be through Monday, because that's when the excessive heat warning is through, but really just very hot through Wednesday as well. Could see them extending it again, because they did extend it. It originally was only Friday through Saturday. Now it's today through Monday, and it could be through Wednesday. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Going to be very hot through that time. Out Phoenix, around 115 or greater through that time. Safford, they got to 111. They could see those 110s possible again by Monday. Look at that, 110. And yeah, it seems like the area south and east, our hottest times will be today, and then again Monday and Tuesday. And yes, there's that excessive heat warning where we have the pink. That's the excessive heat warning, like I said. And that contains the Tucson Metro. It's through Monday. Temperatures 107 to 114 up to our north and west. In a place like Phoenix, that extends through Tuesday. 110 to 118. They could be flirting with 120 degrees. And well, we're part of a larger heat wave here that extends all the way up through Washington, a large portion of the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast as a whole. You can see where all those heat alerts are. Excessive heat warnings in pink, excessive heat watch in red, and heat advisories in orange in states like New Mexico, Arizona, creeping into Utah, California, Nevada, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. We're also dealing with a little storm activity. Like you said, we had that microburst today, but overall, it was somewhat quiet in terms of how widespread the storms are. They were very isolated. Unfortunately, one of those storms did go over a populated area near Oro Valley and Casas Adobes. Seeing most of the storms off to the south, and we're seeing a little bit of that storm activity off to the west, but it does seem to be dissipating for the most part here and in around the Tucson metro. Not seeing a whole lot calmer than it was a few hours ago, and it's still hot. Still 106. I thought it would go down a little bit more, but nope, we're still well above the triple-digit mark as the sun begins to set on a hot day, the hottest day of the year. We're tracking it out now through the rest of the evening. We'll be in and around the triple-digit mark to around 8, and then by 9 we'll be in the upper 90s, low 90s. By 11, low storm chances. We should clear out for the most part. By the time we get through the evening overnight hours tomorrow to kick off your weekend, we'll be in the 80s and 90s, start off your day. Similar temps to what we saw today, right around 110 degrees during the heat of the day with slight rain chances at a 10% chance through the afternoon and evening hours. Here's that 13 first alert 7-day. First alert action days through Monday, but I don't want you to let your guard down really through the rest of this forecast period. It's going to be very hot, right around 110 degrees. Kind of getting a little break from monsoon storm activity through about mid next week, but then we could see it possibly ramp up once again by the time we get to later next week.
All right, Corey, things looking very interesting, I'll say. We got that excessive heat warning, and then we got some rain. So, hey, a little bit of everything. You want it, we got it. Huh?
And I'll also add, for the folks that are still hanging on here, that we do have lower storm chances. It won't be as abundant, but the storms that do form have a little bit more of that microburst potential just because it's dry, much drier and hot. It's going to be, like I said, right, can cause more evaporation, could cause, more force coming down and spreading out with those winds. So, that's
and real quick, just to read one of these comments, Matthew says, the thermometer at my job site today said 115 at 3 p.m. So we've seen that occasionally where there are spots around town that go even higher than what we see at the airport. So
likely a little bit higher than the actual air temp. So the way that they do it, just a little fun fact, is it's very specific the way they keep temperature because it could be skewed in either direction depending on what you do with it. So normally it's in a white box 6 feet off the ground and it's covered around, it's inside the white box. So a lot of times we see higher temps just because their thermometers are just outside baking in the sun. So that's technically going to make it hotter than the actual air temperature because you're the ground where it's a little bit hotter, you're in the sun. So that's likely why you're at 115, a little bit hotter than what was recorded at 111. So the air temperature right around probably 110, and that maybe it's in the sun, so I could have given it boost in temperature there, Matthew. That's probably what you saw there.
All right, noted. Thank you so much, Corey. Well, we will leave you with a live look from one of our cameras where things are looking good out there. You know, I always click this and I'm like, there's so much sun still. I forget how late the sun is setting these days. We hope you all are safe again. Sadly, there were a couple of injuries regarding this microburst that we saw earlier. We don't know the extent, but Northwest did tell us that there are 2 injuries. So we're looking into what happened there, and we will have the latest for you on 13 News Live at 10. And Corey will also have your weekend weather forecast if you want to join us then. We hope you're having a good one and have a safe weekend. We'll see you soon.